Ladies and gentlemen, grinders and grindettes, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. If you're new to my channel, I urge you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, so we can do this again. Listen, today we're going to be talking about Jae Skeese's new album. It's his debut album on the Drumwork label. It is titled Abolished Uncertainties, and we'll get into it right after this. Abolished Uncertainties, the debut album by Jae Skeese, was released this Friday that just passed. Features a who's who of producers on here. It also features from Conway the Machine, Philadelphia's own OG Freeway, and newcomers Jillian Hainsworth and Coda Savia. I hope I said your name correctly. If not, next time you see me, you can punch me in the arm. All right, so before we get started, as we know, I have a mic rating systems. At the end of the video, I will give this a rating between 1 to 5 mics. And my system is based on 1 being trash, 5 being classic. So it's, least to greatest. And then between there, you can kind of work it out yourself. Prior to actually hearing the album, my brother and best friend, as you guys know, I talk about him on my channel, Illtone, he was working close with Jae Skeese, so he was kind of telling me, listen, this project's he's working on, he said it's going to be pretty dope. And then the day before release, he hits me unexpectedly and say, listen, Jae Skeese is having a listening party. Do you want to come? And as you can see, photograph right here, I actually got to kick it with Skeese for a little bit. Cool cat. If you in the underground scene in Buffalo, or just on the come up in Buffalo, everybody kind of know who's who. When I started doing music 10 years ago, I made it my business. I was like Manboy from Snowfall. I made it my business to know who all the other hustlers and rappers was coming up, because I was super competitive. So I actually remember Skeese. I actually told him this. I remember him. He had a group. They were named First Class. It was four younger guys who I thought were pretty dope, and they had their own lane. And I liked the fact they had their own lane because they weren't in my lane, which was, I make more so like street records and trap shit. So I thought they was pretty dope individuals. And if you listen to Skeese back then, listen to him now, his style hasn't veered off too much from what it was. He just, obviously fine-tuned it and got a lot better. So let's get into this album, man. How was it? How did it live up to the hype? Listen, having context at the listening party actually helped, but it didn't need it. This album would have been dope without even me going to the listen party. I would have checked it out. The intro is amazing. The way he starts off, and intro normally can set the tone of an album to make it either for worse or great. So I thought he came out right out the gate, nice fire spitting with the revolver joint. I thought that was dope. Next is the song that's produced by my best friend and brother, Illtone, called $1 Million Dreams. And to me personally, I think this should get a video treatment and a single. Not only because I'll get a cameo, because it just has a flow that he's not doing nowhere else on that album. So, and it's motivational. $1 Million Dreams, $1 Million Dreams. Listen, Tone, you got to start giving me some of these beats, bro. Like, I feel like you giving everybody else the good beats. And like, I want a beat. We supposed to be friends. I don't even get a beat. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So with that being said, listen to albums. My criteria for great albums is just skill, beat selection, what you're saying, diversity in topics, and also vulnerability. That's a big thing for me. If you watch my review for God Don't Make Mistakes for Conway, one of the things I said that makes Conway stand out isn't just his ability to talk that talk when he goes in. He does that well, but it's the fact in the songs that when he gets vulnerable, that certain artists just can't resonate that correctly on records. That takes a certain skill to be able to be vulnerable on a record and show some kind of just show that it's some kind of chinks in the armor to fans that makes it look like, yo, he's just a human. He's just a regular person like me which sets him apart out of the big three from Griselda is the fact that he can do that. And we're here on this project with Jae Skeese. We see that as well. We see the vulnerability side on Auntie Crystal, which is right now probably my second favorite song because I'm going to give it to my brother Illtone. Auntie Crystal, you know, talking about his father's addiction. That resonated with me because if you know me, you know, my mom's addicted to alcohol. And, you know, seeing that he lost his dad at a young age and, you know, how that affected him growing up. I thought that was pretty dope to be vulnerable like that on a record. And then the backings by Coda Savia. Like I said, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. Just using her correctly, knowing how to properly use your features too is another skill, because you can have a rap song, you can have a rap singing hook, then another rap, which is, you know, the traditional hip hop formula, but to have her come in and just harmonize in the backgrounds while he's reminiscing about growing up and just living life was pretty dope. So as far as right now, that's one of my standouts. It's a different flow. Every song on here has a different flow. That's one thing I really appreciate, because that's one thing I try to craft as a rapper myself. There's different flows for different tracks. Ekin 3, which is, you know, Ekin is Nike backwards. It's for the sneakerheads, which he said at the listening party. He's a sneakerhead, which I didn't know. So to see him paying homage, I'm actually curious to see or hear Ekin 1 and Ekin 2 now in comparison to this. And shout out to the producers too on this. Ekin 3 was produced by E. Jones and Mitch Arizona, and the latter, Auntie Crystal, was produced by Tony Seltzer. So shout out to those gentlemen. Another standout on here is going to be Burner Phone. If you like storytelling, this is a skill in hip hop. I believe to even have a classic album, you have to have a story on there. You have to show that. You have to show that ability. All the great albums have had told a story, or, you know, of a situation. Just that skill in itself is an accomplishment. So Burner Phone is that. A burner phone being bought. Burner phones are normally bought by dope boys or trap niggas. This is the Burner Phone expressing his situation, and it's done masterfully. Good job for him. Also, one of my other favorites, 101, I thought was dope. Lunch Table. You know, I remember him saying this at the listening party. You know, every beat at the lunch table was the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And then there was a couple of variations if you got crazy with it. Some niggas was crazy. They had the boom, boom with the beatboxing tone. You was like, oh, this nigga raw and shit. You go in. You know, that's how I know me and him is from that same cloth era, because that's what I did in school. You know, it was a group of, I was with the rap niggas, man. We all rapped. Like, everybody knew who rapped in the school. And ironically, I went to school with Benny the Butcher. But the thing is, nobody knew he rapped in school. A couple of people knew, but he didn't rap that much in school. And I think because he was actually in the studio. So I'm going to give him an out on that. Also, Symmetry with Conway the Machine definitely needs a video treatment. I feel like that's the single of the album. You know, that's the one that's gonna get you turned up. Man, he talking that shit on there. You know, and you think he kills these two verses, and then Conway Machine gets on there and just holds his own. You know, just like, I think that's an example of steel sharpening steel. You get what I'm saying? Like, I could do this too. It's a bunch of great records on here. Those to me are what are my favorites as of now. But the album is dope start to finish. I really didn't see a bad song on there. Just some that I like more than others. You know, I rate everything with microphones, like the old Source did, and I told you my criteria, which you're seeing right here. So out of 5 mics, I'm going to have to give Jae Skeese's Abolished Uncertainties a whopping 4 mics. Yes, 4 mics, because classics have to age, just like wine. So who knows, a year from now, if this sounds the same, then, you know, possibly it could be, you know, given the 5 mic stats. But for now, 4. It's definitely dope. It's definitely hottest shit out, and it's definitely gonna be a contender for album of the year, I feel. If, you know, people don't do no fuck shit and get political. Post your comments below. I want to know what you guys thought about Jae Skeese and Abolished Uncertainties. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you did, what were your favorite songs? Post them in the comments. As always, peace, love, and prosperity. Go to prayforbuffalo.com if you need merch. Go to manscaped.com if you need any grooming products. Enter the promo code ABSTRACT, and you get 20% off your order. Till next time, Peace.